Hi, Dave Jones here again. We'll look at a song today by a band called The Undertones. I think it was released again by Busted or McFly or something, but I prefer the Undertones version personally, but that's just a personal opinion. It's called Teenage Kicks. It's a bit of a power chord song, but it's got a little solo in it that's not too difficult for relative novice players to achieve. So what I'll do is I'll take you through the sections. It's got like the intro is basically the verse, but the verse is a 4-bar. An 8-bar sequence, and the intro is a 4-bar sequence using the same chord. So I won't bother too much with that. Okay, so here's the verse section. Like I say, I'll go through this in a minute, and the chorus section is and then back into that, just back into the verse, and it's a repeating sequence all the way through the song. And there's a little solo section that I'll show you, and then I'll do a close up for anyone who needs it. Okay, so here's the solo section, and I'll talk you through what's going on later for those of you who need it. And that is a 4-bar solo, but on the record it's an 8-bar solo. It just comes back to doing this bit again. Okay, so in the verse section, what I've got, if you're reading the PDF, is it's got a rhythm of 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and then on the 4 we move. So we're starting off on the D chord, D power chord, first finger 10th fret on the thick E string, third finger 12th fret on the A string. And what you're doing there is there's not really any damping in this song. If you've been watching the other power chord vids or anything, it's more of a sort of an aggressive, punky sort of sound. So what's happening there is we're going 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and then back to the 9th fret for 4, and then back to the B at the 7th fret. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and then on the C sharp for the 4 again, before resolving back to the D chord for the next cycle. So the intro is a 4-bar cycle of that with no singing. The verses are an 8-bar cycle of that with singing. So very slowly it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, etc. throughout all the verses and like I say, the intro. And the chorus section does the same thing, but what we're going to do is we're going to start on G. That's the 3rd fret of the thick E string, and we're on the 5th fret of the A string there. And same pattern on the G. The chorus only goes once. Well, it goes a lot more times in the song, but it only goes once before it goes back to the verse again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then we're going to stop at the 4th fret there, the G sharp, before resolving to the A. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then we're back into the verse section again. So that's the core part of the song. I'll just show you a little tiny close-up of the solo section for those of you who need it, and then I think we'll be just about done. Okay, so here we are with a close-up of the solo. Like I say, you probably find it easy to follow with the tab, but I'll show you anyway. So what we're doing, we're starting off with the 10th fret on the D string. 10th fret is the D note, sorry. 10th fret on the E string, and we play that twice. And then we play the 12th fret on the A string once. So a bit like the power chord shape that you've been playing for the song. So, well, it is actually. So, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to play the G and B strings at the 10th fret. And for that, if you can, try rolling your finger down. So you're barring it across the 2 strings. You're only hitting the G and B. So you're barring across those. So that first phrase is. And then following that, what we're going to do is we're going to bend the 12th fret of the G string up, whilst straight afterwards hitting the 10th fret of the B string. So what I would suggest you do, like I say, there's lessons on the website on bending actually as well, but what happens, what I would do if I was you, is support the bend. So bend, you put your 3rd finger on the 12th fret, your second finger on the 11th fret. I know you're not going to use your second finger, but you're going to use it to boost that bend up. And have your first finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and you bend that up and play the... And you do that 3 times. And the last time you can either, if you're a bit more competent at bending, you could bend up and get the 12th fret note if you're following the tab by just letting it back down again. Or if you're not quite so good at bending, you could pluck it if you wanted to, if you couldn't let it back down. But I'd suggest letting it back down. So, and then the last note in that phrase is the G and B strings again, barred at the 10th fret. So practice that very, very slowly. If you're fairly new to this, doing solos, it's quite a nice little solo to get you started on because it's not massively difficult. And then what happens is we repeat exactly the same phrase, but we come down to the 7th fret. So that's exactly the same as what I played at the between 10 and 12. We're just doing it at 7 and 9 now, so I won't waste your time going through it really, really slowly. But exactly the same phrase, just moved back to the 7th fret. So I hope you found that useful, and good luck with that, and I'll see you again.